Failing does not make you a failure, because none of us here are perfect. And sooner or later, no matter how hard we try, how hard we fight, we will all fail. And we will fail over and over and over again. But it is not the act of failing that makes us a failure, but rather it is how we choose to respond in that moment. When you are lying on the floor, bruised and rattled without a single idea of what to do, that will become the most important moment in your life. But how do you learn from failure? Today, I want to share with you 3 simple lessons I've learned to embrace failure instead of fearing it. So failure doesn't use you, but you are able to use failure to push you towards your dreams. So lesson 1, smile. Smile even when everything around you is bleak. Smile in those awful rainy days and learn to smile in the face of failure. Because it is our attitude that dictates how we see the world. Like a pair of eyeglasses, those with a positive attitude see life around them through perfectly clear rose-tinted glasses. And those with a negative attitude see life around them through glasses that are dark and gloomy. Both people look at the exact same situation, yet see it in 2 very different ways. And I know that there are those awful days where it can be very, very hard to smile. Last year during the school year, I worked as a swim instructor on weekends at Glen Abbey. Once I started teaching, I quickly observed that there were 2 types of instructors who would come in. There were the ones who resented working the morning shift and came in with a look of dread and despair upon their faces. They would count down the hours until their shift was up, partaking in only the bare minimum and cared for nothing more than to leave. And then there are the ones who, no matter how bad they were feeling, how tired they were, they always put on a smile and jumped into the water with a positive attitude. It was those instructors who got the recommendations from the parents, who got rehired the next season, and it was those instructors who had the greatest impact on the kids that they taught. If you are going to give and grow and attain your dreams, everything rises or falls on your viewpoint. Attitude is everything. Lesson 2, surround yourself with the right people. I can't stress this enough that the people around you have the largest impact on the person that you will become. Now, what do I mean by the right people? Because the right people won't always be your favorite people. In fact, more often than not, the right people will be the ones you dislike the most. Because they push you. They see what you're capable of and challenge you to things you may not have believed you were even capable of doing in the first place. They are the people that will stick with you no matter what, and they'll be the people you look back on in 10, 15 years, and you will thank them for making you a better person that you are today. For me, one of these right people was my grade 7 music teacher, Mr. Yates. Growing up, I was not a huge fan of music. I was brutally forced to take piano lessons for 7 awful years, and I had no intention of taking any music in high school. Then came Mr. Yates. He was the most caring and comedic man you've ever met, and he loved his job and loved music. He took what was once a small concert band of just 15 people and transformed it into literal hundreds of eager grade 7s and 8s from all different social groups. Every Tuesday morning, 7 a.m., an hour before school even started, he was able to fit everyone into his tiny little music room. It was so crammed that there were flute players stuck out in the hallway, and once you sat down with your instrument, it was physically impossible to move again. He would joke with us and poke fun whenever the trumpets missed their cues. He would test us to play challenging music while always showing us just how fun music could truly be. His dedication and passion for his work went unmatched, and he challenged and inspired me to continue playing music in high school and for the rest of my life. The right people, like Mr. Yates, will not only show you just how much potential you truly have in your life, but will also be the people you can turn to at any cost. No matter what you're going through, what failures you've experienced, the right people will always be by your side for you. Lesson 3, failure is and will always be your greatest teacher. The great Jay-Z once said that you learn more in failure than you ever do in success. And it's true. Although failure really, really sucks sometimes, it shows us exactly where our faults are and where we can improve. Failing teaches strength, failing teaches character, failing teaches leadership, and failing shows us how to pick ourselves back up again. In order to improve, we need to stop having this fear of failing, and instead, when failure happens, we must look at it in a new light, as a teacher, helping us on our way towards success. One of the things Appleby has taught me is if I'm ever preparing for exams or a big test or assignment, the very first thing I'll do is I'll go back and look at every single question I got wrong. Because the questions I got wrong are the places I can learn from the most. If we simply choose to avoid our wrong answers without reflecting and looking back on them, we are permitting ourselves to make the exact same mistakes over and over again. But failure doesn't just serve as a teacher in the classroom. It serves as a teacher in life and tests just how determined you truly are on accomplishing your dreams. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed 2,773 times before inventing the first incandescent bulb. After each time, he would write down his mistakes and he would try again. If he had chosen to give up after the 10th try, or after the 1,000th try, or after the 2,772nd try, he would never have achieved his dream. Which brings me to my final message for you today: to never, ever, ever, ever give up on your dreams. When I was younger, I was never the fastest nor the most athletic person. I'd typically be chosen middle of the pack for recess soccer, and I didn't make most school sports. One year in grade 5, our school decided to have its very own cross-country race. My dad heard about the race, and he would take me on runs every day after school to practice. When the day of the race finally came, I ended up taking 10th in my grade and was awarded with a beautiful participation medal. I had never gotten a medal before in a race, and this sparked something inside of me. It sparked a drive and this dream to not only get my own medal, but to actually win my own race. So that spring, I decided to come out for tryouts for the school track team. I was too slow to make any individual events, but they decided to give me a shot anyways, and put me on the 4x100 mixed relay team. But I didn't give up. I'd be running laps as fast as I could with the others on my relay every single lunch, getting ready for the big meet. When the time came, everyone on the team delivered, and we won first place in the mixed relay. It showed me that if you put in the work for something you believe in, the results will come. But the next year, I failed to make an individual event again and was once more put on the mixed relay. We didn't win. The year after that, I trained and trained and trained before the tryouts and was finally good enough to run the 200 meters, my own event. And not only that, but to have my own spot on the top boys 4x100 relay team, only to lose in the 200 meter, and a dropped baton in the relay disqualified us. I wouldn't give up though. Fall of grade 8, I decided to join a track club outside of school, and the first month of practices had to be the most challenging thing I had ever experienced. I couldn't walk straight after practices, and there were times when I contemplated if it was even possible for me to ever win a race. But I refused to give up on my dream. Even while COVID hit, I kept running every day. I'd try to go for 5-kilometer runs. Then the next week, I'd try to go for 6. Then a couple weeks later, maybe try 8. By the end of the pandemic, in grade 9, I was able to run entire half marathons. I learned to love the practices and the process of working towards my dream because I knew that by going out for the runs, I was making myself faster and coming just a little bit closer towards winning my race. Following COVID, I joined the school track team in spring of grade 10. At this point, I had still not won my first race. But that year, at the CISA final in the 400 meters, I finally did it. For the first time ever, I crossed the finish line first and won my first ever individual event. It took me 5.5 years to do it. 5.5 years of hard work, 5.5 years of determination, 5.5 years of failure, and 5.5 years of never, ever, ever, ever giving up on my dream. If you had told my grade 5 self I was capable of not only winning a race, but winning provincials last year, he might have cried knowing that his dream finally came true. But dreams seldom come easy. Because when you're running towards your dream, it's gonna take guts. It takes tears, it takes effort. Your first thought can't be if it's possible or not, because you should be leading with your heart. You need to take everything you have inside of you and drive it into the ground until you get there. It's all about the hours, the blood, the effort, and the hustle to build something amazing, to work towards something, to be known for something, at least more than just your name. Because let me tell you, you all deserve it. And I know that's hard to hear, because there's going to be those times when those thoughts hit. The, oh, am I good enough? Or, oh, am I just wasting my time? I still wake up every single day with those doubtful thoughts, and those exact thoughts are the reason I'm still here, and the reason I keep going. The reason I still have that drive, this feeling, this thought, and this drive, and the fear of failing is the reason why you should love it. So don't be scared to fail, because the best part about a goal is having one, and the best part about a dream is chasing it. So don't stop chasing. Never stop chasing. Thank you, and please join me in hymn 423.